Hey Austin, so this is your Sherlock assignment, and this one is just a matter of changing some settings. So the first thing you'll notice is I don't have the same font you had, Blackadder, so I just chose something similar, Alana, which you probably don't have on your machine. Blackadder is totally fine, but one of the points that you had taken off is that it wasn't 48-point font or a little smaller. So you want it to fit about this size, and if you can make it 48-point font with it looking good, but for some reason some fonts are just way bigger, way smaller than what other fonts would look like at 48, so this is around what you want it to look like. So then looking at the things that you lost points on, I'm just going to go down the list. So the first one was, or the second one was that the leading was incorrect. So leading is basically line spacing, so I'm going to do Control or Command A to highlight everything. And then we want to change this leading to not be the auto, and you can tell it's auto because of the parentheses. And we just want to choose 16. So I'm going to go up to 16. That's the correct leading. So that's the line spacing. And then it says text is justified left with last line aligned left. So if you come over here to the paragraph settings, this is align left. You have it on align center right now. But align left is not just what we want. We actually want it to be justified so that the columns are perfectly even on the left and right, except for when it's at the very end of a paragraph, then the last line of that paragraph should be aligned left. So we're going to click this fourth button here. And the problem is we don't see any paragraphs here. So I'm cheating and I went to another student to see where it should be broken. So I had, and then he was still. So I had, and now we got to look for he was still. Oops, and we're just going to leave that. We're not going to do extra returns. And then former friend and companion, or one night. So one night is where that one ends. So see how now this last line is left line. And actually, I don't know why that period isn't there. So then one night, and then to me, who knew his every mood and habit. Where is this? To me, who knew his every mood and habit. And then he stood before the fire. Then he stood before the fire. So I'm just hitting enter return. And then how do I know that you have? How do I know that you have been? Okay, so those are all paragraphs. So now what we need to do is first line indent was created correctly. So what a first line indent is that every time there's a new paragraph, the first line indent should be indented. What the settings that I gave you is 0.3125. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight everything except for probably this content up here. So we're going to highlight everything. And then we're going to go to the first line indent. And we're going to just hit up until it's 0.3125. So now you saw that the first line of every paragraph is indented a certain amount. If I were to come and type a new paragraph and the line was long, you can see the indent automatically happened, but just to the first line, which is what we want. Okay. So now created a subheading in the correct area. So the subheading should be going after former friend and companion. It should be called a visit to homes. And it can be Blackadder the same as what you had. So visit to homes. Now this one we don't want to have a first line indent, so we're going to get rid of that. And we want to actually center it. And then you're going to have to look for like the settings that I gave you because I can't remember them right now. But I'm going to go ahead and increase the font. And I'm probably going to need to increase the line spacing. Oops, actually probably want to increase the space before and after the heading. So let's do that. There you go. So font selection size are correct. So you had 12-point font, and I think that's right. So I might have made a mistake there. And so this is a good, the only thing is you can't use Minion Pro because that's what it came with. So I'm going to highlight everything, and it's probably going to change this one. So how do I, shoot. I should have put that before, but anyway, highlight everything. So maybe I'll just highlight from here to here, and I'm going to make this, I'm just going to choose Just because I use Helvetica all the time, I'm just going to do, oh, I hate that. What's a good font? I'm just going to do 2 times New Roman because I want to be basic today. Don't want to take all your time. Times New Roman regular. And then I'm going to highlight all of this and type times New Roman regular because that looks like a serif, and so a serif is good for like an old story like this. So, and then subhead is centered, but then the text below is not, so this is not centered, so that's good. We fixed that. And then author line is 14-point font, has by, and removed commas. So excerpt from The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle. So then we want to make this line, get rid of the comma, and then make P published. And we're going to make this line 8-point font with 10 lettings. So we're going to go 10, and we're going to say it's 8-point font. And then the, yeah, it has to say X up. Yeah. So by, we're going to get rid of the comma, by Arthur Conan Doyle. And then these ones should be 14. I'm going to make that 14. So that's all you have to do for that one. This is ready to go now. So basically this whole assignment was just trying to teach you about leading and first line indent and how do we center things and how do we left justify or justify with the last line left aligned, all that kind of stuff. So it's basic typesetting stuff that you had to do for this one.